From LCI in Lethbridge, number 5 is John Evans. From William Aberhart in Calgary, number 7, Matt Carrieth.
All right, first down in North Territory for the South. Back in at quarterback, number 5 is John Evans out of LCI. Handoff, fake, and taking off with it. We mentioned he could run with the football, and he is along the sidelines, finally taken out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. He looks like a gazelle out there.
Yeah.
He can
you know what he
really
looks
run.
like? He looks like a prototypical quarterback out of LCI. That's what he looks like. You know, he's got great height, 6'3", I believe it is, or 6'3" or 6'4", and good legs. He, had over 800 yards rushing last year, as well as throwing the ball for 1,400 yards, I think is what it was. So he is going to be able to use his legs.
Now he's passing, and it is incomplete along the sidelines. Intended down there for number 33, David Bowers out of Holy Trinity. Stay with us for our halftime show. We'll have the Associate Executive Director of the Football Alberta, Tim Enger. There's the snap, and taking off with it once again is Evans. He is a constant threat to run with the football with 800 yards rushing last season.
Got another flag down here. I sure like the way John Evans looks when he gets in space. Hey, they ran just basically a quarterback draw, and he hits full speed at about the third stride. It's no surprising he had 800 yards last year.
Back in the pocket now, firing far side over the head of the receiver, Matt Carrier.
Maybe because of the bleachers are blocking some of it.
As they pass, it is complete at the 50-yard line to number 33. For the South, and that is David Bowers from Holy Trinity. And there's the snap, and taking it up the middle again is John Evans, and Evans plows ahead for a gain of a couple yards and another first down.
I just like the energy that Evans seems to have. You know, just the type of offense that he's running right now. Out of all the quarterbacks that we've seen so far, he just seems to be a little bit more up tempo. I'm not sure that his throwing is at a level of everybody else's, but that doesn't mean his ability to be able to run an offense isn't at the top level.
Shovel pass to the right side, again taken by. Talking with Coach Tim Bryson yesterday at practice, he told me an interesting story. He said John Evans is the kind of quarterback that takes command. And in fact, he was even telling me how to run some of the packages.
Yeah. That's the kind of guy that he looks like. He looks like he's very confident, not afraid to pull the ball down if it's not there and take off and go.
Handoff right side, up to the 55. Ball taken by, I believe it was Carrius.
Really nice, a really good read by Evans on that play and that run of that option. That was Tyler Santos who was carrying the ball there from Henry Wisewood. But yeah, he made a nice read. Saw the defensive end there and chose to give the ball away.
Looks to the side, takes off with it himself now.
Oh.
This is Evans. Evans almost taken down at the 40 on a good attempted shoestring tackle, but it ended up the tackler who got the worst of that one.
Yeah, it was number 15, the receiver, Kamar Bishop, who I think had the penalty earlier for movement, drilled number 35 right in the middle of the back as he came up to make the play.
Kai Sampson played a good portion of that first half for Team South. Expect to see John Evans in there in the second half?
Yeah, well, John Evans didn't get as much playing time, obviously, in that first half. He got a few series, but we commented on this. We thought, certainly I did, that he looked exciting. He looked like he was somebody that was commanding that offense, and he has that dual threat. Well, then, of course, Kai Sampson can also do the same thing. He can run he can use his legs as well to extend plays. We saw him take that touchdown in from 1 yard out. So they've got some athletes over there at the quarterback position, but I would expect to see a little bit more of the kid from LCI.
Of course, the players really not that familiar with each other, and that probably is part of it. There's the fake, and rolling out to this side and taking off with the football again is John Evans.
Yeah, that's what he's going to do. That's where he lives. That zone read outside, read that end. And the thing about him is it looks like he's got such good speed that even if, 92 settles down, does a really nice job of reading that thing, but that's just enough. Reese Winder settles down in there, sees the quarterback, and the quarterback still outruns him.
6'4", but only 180 pounds. And you think, well, if this guy ever gets hammered around the knees, it's going to hurt a whole bunch.
Yeah.
You know, he's not exactly the...
I got news for you. If any of us gets hammered around the knees, it's going to hurt a lot. It doesn't matter if you're 6'4", 185. We're all going to be sore.
Back in the pocket again. Evans looks downfield, now takes off with it.
Look at that.
He's at the 40, to the 50. He's going to go to the 40, all the way for the touchdown. John Evans out of LCI. Now you see why he had 800 yards rushing this past season.
Yeah, he's got over 100 now, I think, just in that play alone. That puts him at 55, 65, 75, 80 yards on that play. And I think he had coming into this quarter, he had 30 yards. So he's over 100 yards on the day. And he's only run the ball about 4 times.
I was going to say, as he took off from the football, he is so quick to turn it downfield.
Yeah.
Maybe too quick sometimes.
Yeah, he runs with a violence. So, you know, he's, like I said, he's up to speed, full speed in about 3 steps. And, you know, I'm not sure where he's going, if he's committed to anybody, if he's going to play for anybody after high school. But just by looking at him, he looks to me like somebody, you know, I'm not sure his arm strength is really super strong. He can't throw, but we saw him throw the deep ball that should have possibly been caught. But his athleticism, his ability to be able to run. So if he couldn't be on the field as a quarterback, he could quite possibly be on the field as a wide receiver or a slot back or something like that, because his speed is as good as anybody else in this game. And he's so tall and rangy.
One thing on that run, the other thing about him is he's always aware of his surroundings and what's going on around him. I mean, he made a couple of great moves just at the last minute.
Yeah, we're seeing it again. He breaks one tackle right there, and then he just gets outside. And once he's in stride, he looks like a sprinter. Yeah, he's he can certainly move. He looks like a high level sprinter. Net yards rushing, and this was aided by the Evans' big long run. 189 yards rushing. He had 80 of them on that play and 30 before. So he's got, of the 189 yards, he's got 110 of them. And the net yards rushing for the South is 47.
So John Evans, the LCI Rams. Motion goes to the right, back in the pocket, looks downfield and takes off with it right away. Look at him run to the 20, gets around one man to the 5 and is knocked out of bounds. But we have a
late flag here.
A late flag all the way back.
We got a holding back there, probably in the backfield. Then we got a late flag right around the tackle, just above everybody else in receiving yards. See if we can see the holding penalty here. I don't know where they call it, but they threw a flag right there. It was back behind the play. They got a rough play right here. Oh, yeah, hitting him way out of bounds. Yeah. Number 24.
The second man in.
So decent kick, starting at the 39-yard line roughly, and the South is. And now they got to deal with John Evans running.
15-point deficit for the North as they try and stop the South offense. The handoff to the right line is working for them, and obviously it's working well for the South. Evans fakes the handoff, takes off with it himself. And he's at the 40.
He's going to score again.
To the 30, to the 20, and he's knocked out of bounds at about the 10-yard line.
You know,
I mean, that's a designed play. I mean, he's done that, what, 3 times, 4 times?
Well, yeah, and here's the thing. This is what that athlete does. He's making the zone read off the defensive end. The defensive end does a nice job. He settles down, he sees him, and he still beats him. And like he breaks his ankles right there. The defensive end does what he needs to do, other than he should close a little bit more and not give John Evans as much room to be able to make a move and to be into space. But he did what the coaches asked him to do, and Evans still beats him. So I mean, that's just special.
That's just John Evans all the way. Like you say, the defensive end did his job. Evans did his better, and there's the handoff up the middle again.
See, now because of what he's able to do to those defensive ends, now they're so apprehensive about coming upfield, and so now that opens that up for the inside run. And that's you know, they give David Bauer's an opportunity now because the ends have to play so wide that that takes himself out of the game. But that's, a very, very, lethal weapon they got there at number 5.
Into the game for the South is Dakota McKay from the far side. There's trips on that side. There's the fake. Running off with it now is Evans. And he'll just walk into the end zone. I mean, there was nobody around. I don't think they even knew he had the football.
No,
until he crossed the goal line.
I think the defensive back knew it. He just knew that I'm not going to get there in time. And the defensive end, again, Evans saw that is not the way you're supposed to read this thing, but because of his athletic ability, that gives you an extra an advantage, because you're supposed to hand the ball off when you see the defensive end staring you in the eye. I'm not going to beat this guy, but Evans can beat the guy. Doesn't matter who they've got playing there. They just got this huge. Here we go. Huge. Nobody's huge mismatch. He just fakes, beats him. And everybody knows that he had the ball by that point.
Just a great fake too.
Dorsich, sorry.
There's the pass, complete touchdown, and Nathan Levine caps a pretty good afternoon off.
Yeah.
With.
Nathan Levine. Who else has had days? Well, how do you not say? What about John Evans? Who could be upwards of 180 yards in rushing today? Just how did he impact the game? How much more of an impact would he have had on the game if they played him more?
That's true. Kai Sampson saw most of the action in the first quarter, or first half rather.
Yeah. And then they split it in the second half. I would say that it certainly wasn't an even 50-50 split. It got to be closer to 50-50, but I still say that it was probably more like 60-40. And but Evans is one of those guys with the way he plays, so much different than Kai Sampson. Kai Sampson can throw the ball, can run the ball. And they both can do both of those things. But I just think that Evans is such a threat on the run. It's like it. I can't imagine. We saw the defensive ends, playing the ball as good as they could play it. And all of a sudden, the guy's he's Houdini and he's not there anymore. Look at the final stats here. If we could take a quick boo at these things, total first downs in the 7 first downs in the second half. Total of 13 first downs for the South, 18 for the North. They had yards rushing, 271 yards rushing for the South. Of course, that 170 of that goes to Evans, and 71 yards for the North. 110 yards passing, which surprised me because I thought that the South would be airing it out a little bit more than that, to 282 yards for the North. 110 to 282. Team losses, there was only 18 yards in losses for the South, and a whopping 84 for the North. That's a huge difference. Net offense, 363 yards to 269. So the almost 100 yards difference is the team losses. So when you look at it statistically, it wasn't that far off in a game. Passes made and tried, ultimately 5 for 18 for the South, and 17 completions out of 40 attempts for the North.
Now, you look at that 5 for 18 for the South, and you ask yourself, how many times did John Evans have the opportunity to pass and then just haul it down and go himself?
Yeah, well, but that wouldn't
probably half a dozen times.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have accounted for in those. It's the drop balls, that they when the
that's true too.
Those are the ones that really that hurt more than anything.
And the winner of the Most Valuable Player of the Game award for the South All-Star team is, from LCI in Lethbridge, number 5, quarterback John Evans. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to present the championship trophy to the victors of the Football Alberta Senior Bowl.
And there you have it, the presentation of the trophy for the 16th time in 29 years to the South team. And no surprise, as far as MVPs are concerned, Blake, John Evans for the South, and Jake Withrow for the North.
Yeah, when you look at their totals, 181 yards rushing for one and 142 yards receiving for the other, I think they got the linemen right too. All we could talk about was Nels Haney for the last quarter. He just seemed like every time that the North tried to pass, he was in the lap of Erickson, and I felt it was one of those games where it's an all-star game. You don't see a whole lot of broken hearts, and thank God, with the exception of Reese, nobody got injured, and they can, because so many of these guys have a big future in front of them.
Well, it's been a pleasure working with you once again. It's been a couple of years. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And on behalf of ICU Video and Blake Dermott, I'm Dave Rozak. Thank you for watching, everyone.